Y'all already know how we coming, man. We back with another weekly tutorial. So to start off this trim, we're gonna go ahead and saturate the hair. You don't want to make it too wet so where the water is dripping all over the client's face, but you want to get it pretty damp. So to start off this trim, we're gonna go ahead and create 3 sections: one on the right side of the head, one in the middle of the head, and one on the left side of the head. So that's what I'm doing right here. Now, using those sections that we just created, we're gonna go ahead and grab the middle section and we're gonna pull that up and take off about a little bit less than ½ inch. This is just a slight trim, and we're gonna follow that section all the way back, and we're gonna use this as a guideline when we work with the right side of the head and the left side of the head. So we started off by making a cut, and we're just gonna follow that all the way back. And then we're going to comb that over to the right side, the right section. And then we're going to take horizontal sections and move towards the front of the head. So we're going to go ahead and pull that up. And you're going to be able to see what I trimmed with the middle guideline. And we're just going to connect it. And then we're going to go ahead and move up a little bit more. Pull up another section. And then we're just going to cut to where we made that guideline. And this is a super simple, easy way to get a nice even trim. And now, since we just completed his right side of the head, we're going to go ahead and take a portion of that and move it towards the left side, which is what I'm doing right here. And we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to take a horizontal section and just connect that middle guideline with his left side of the head. And we're going to do that all the way up to the front. And this will ensure a nice even cut. And now, when blow drying the hair, I'm not really looking for a style. I just want to dry the hair in its natural position, so we're not creating any hairs that stick up. And we're going to go ahead and give the front some volume a little bit. This isn't the finished style. This is just to get the hair dry. Now, to start the fading process, we're going to go ahead and set in our bald line with our gold Babyliss trimmer. And we're going to start at the top of his arch because he's not keeping a C-cup arch area. And then we're going to make this guideline straight towards the back. But as you guys know, usually when I do a fade, I drop it a little towards the back. But for this specific cut, we're going straight back with it. So we're making sure that that bald line is nice and even. And now we're going to go ahead and bald it out, letting the trimmer do the work, not pressing too hard and creating any irritation. And now we're going to use the gold Babyliss shavers to get it really close to the skin and add some pop to that blend. And again, you want to let the shaver do the work. You don't want to push too hard. And now, moving on to our second step, we're going to make our guideline using our clipper all the way open, going up about ½ inch to a full inch depending on the canvas, but this is a little above ½ inch. And we're making it bigger as we get towards the back of the head, just because the back of the head has a lot more surface area to work with. So we want to make sure we're spreading out that blend. And now, to lighten up that line in between the open and bald line, I'm going to use the corner of my trimmer and just slightly tap that line just to loosen it up so we come in with our clipper. It's a little bit easier to take out. Following up that step, we're going to come in with our clipper closed. And we're just going to slightly go up, and as we move up towards the top of that guideline, you're going to see me open up the lever. And what this is going to do is start to erase that line. And if it doesn't, get rid of it the first time through, you can always go back in detail. But you'll see, I'll go closed, open it gradually, and if I don't get it the first time, I'll start to play with my lever to get rid of that line as best as I can. And I'll just continue to go over it until I feel, you know, satisfied with how it looks. And now following that step up, we're going to come in with our one guard all the way open. And for this step, we're going up to about the same distance, about a ½ inch. And then we'll make it wider towards the back once again. But you want to make sure with each guideline you're keeping the same shape, so the fade is consistent and even throughout the entire head. So this is my one guard open. Make sure you're flicking out. You don't want to make the line too harsh. And then right under that, to lighten up that line, we're going to use our one guard closed. And this isn't going to get rid of it fully, it's just going to lighten it up, so when we come back with our half guard, it's slightly easier to get rid of. This right here is our half guard, so we're going to go in open, and if open isn't doing the job, we'll go ahead and close that lever until the line is as blended as we can possibly get it. So you'll see right here, open wasn't doing the job. I made it halfway, and you can see as I move down and close the lever more and more, the line will start to disappear. So I went ahead and closed it all the way, and I'm just attacking that line using my corners to get into those dark areas that I couldn't get the first time. And we're just staying consistent, staying patient, trusting the process, and watching that blend come together slowly but surely. And now to better blend out that line, since the half guard couldn't get rid of the line fully, we're going to go in with our clipper all the way open, using the corner of the blade to get into those darker areas so we don't take the blend up too high. And then you'll see me close it if that's not doing the job. So when blending, you always want to start off open, just because when it's open, it's a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? Because you can always take hair off, but you cannot put hair back on. So always start off open when you're trying to get rid of a line. And if open isn't doing the job, you go ahead and close it. And now blending towards the back a little, I'm just going to continue to use the half guard to get rid of that line, going in open and closing it gradually. Just trying to get it to look as best as I can. Now this will be the biggest guard that we use. It is our 2 guard all the way open, and I'm not really making a guideline with this. It's more debulking and trying to blend into the top as best as I can before I hop into shear over comb or clipper over comb. So that was my 2 guard open, and now right under that I'm going to use my 1.5 open, and then you'll see me close it gradually as needed, just like I did. And I'm just going ahead and attacking that line, trying to blend it as best as I can. And my 1.5 wasn't quite doing the job, so I'm going to go ahead with my 1 open. And you'll see as I use my 1 open, it will start to completely get rid of that line. So I went ahead and closed the lever just slightly, just working it at that line, trying to lighten it up. And that blend is starting to come together, family. Let me know if this is helping you in any way, shape, or form down in the comments section. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button for me. It really helps the channel. So I went ahead and closed it all the way, and the more we attack that line, the better it starts to blend. So to connect it in the middle, this is our open guideline, and again we're gonna go in closed, and then you'll see me open that lever as we move up in that guideline, and this is slowly gonna get rid of that line. And you'll see as we work at that line, that blend really starts to come together, guys. So don't get frustrated if it's not looking the way you want it to look in the moment. Just keep detailing and going over that spot until it's as best as you can possibly get it. Now again, to connect the left side and the right side of the head, we're going to go ahead and use our 1 guard once again, going up about a ½ inch to a full inch. Now you want to make sure you're flicking out as you get towards the top of that guideline. And this right here is the half guard. Again, we're gonna go in open and close it gradually as needed. And you'll see me play with that lever over and over, opening and closing to see what works in certain areas. Because the back of the head especially has a lot of dents and, you know, indentations. So you want to make sure that you're putting extra detail into the blend in the back. And as well, that's where most people are going to see is the back of his head. It's what's going to connect the left and right side. So you want to make sure it's as blurry as possible. And now right here, we're just using our clipper all the way open, using the corner of our blade to better blend that out. And this right here is our 2 guard. This is going to be the biggest guard that we use. And you don't want to go too high because I don't want to chop his cowlick off. But right here, we're not making a guideline. We're kind of just debulking, using our 2 guard all the way open, flicking out. Now to get rid of that line, that last one, we're going to go in with our 1.5 all the way open. And then you'll see open wasn't doing the job, so I went ahead and closed it. And I'll just continue to work at that line until it's as blended as possible. Now to get rid of that faint line that we see that the 1.5 couldn't fully get rid of, I'm going in with my 1 guard all the way open, being conscious that I'm using the corner of the blade, and then I'll close it as needed as well. And you'll see with this step, this is really where the blend comes together almost all the way. That blend is looking real nice, real consistent. It matches both the left and the right side of his head. And I don't know about y'all, man, but that blend is looking mean, y'all. We just got to get rid of that little bit of weight at the top of his ridge. But other than that, that blend is coming together real smooth. And just because we're OCD on detail, I'm just going to use the corner of my blade to get into those darker areas to really take that blend to the next level. Now to blend into the length on top, I'm going to use the clipper over comb technique. So I'm going to go in with my comb and flare it out just slightly, just so we can blend a little bit nicer. So I'm going with my comb, flaring it out, and any hairs that are sticking out, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. And right here, I flipped the comb, or the clipper, instead of doing it sideways, I did it up and down. Because what the clipper or comb acts as is a number 1 guard. So I'm going ahead and just trying to blend it a little bit better. So that's a cool trick that you guys can use. If you use the clipper in this way right here with the comb, it acts as a number 1 guard. So I'm just trying to lighten up that line, blend it as best as I can. And it's starting to come together very nicely. And again, flaring out the comb. And then getting rid of all the hairs that stick out. And we're not going to give him the sharpest line ever. We're just going to clean it up a little bit to give it a more masculine look. So I'm going to go ahead and start in the middle, move towards the right side of his head. Trying to get it as crispy as possible without, you know, pushing him back or anything. But this is just to clean up the forehead area. He prefers a lineup. You could always not do one, keep it a little more natural. But he prefers one, and I'm going to go ahead and line up the box. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Just clean up the hairline area. Get it looking a little bit more sharper. And now we're going to go ahead and hit that joint with the razor. And from this angle, you can really see that blend and how nice it came out. So you want to make sure you're stretching the skin and just get rid of those little stubs that the clipper couldn't get. So my man walked into the shop looking like he needed a cut, so we went ahead and got him together. I didn't get a 360 view, family, unfortunately, but you saw the haircut process and how the back looked. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like, leave a comment. Follow me at Dreclipperhands, family. And yeah, catch y'all next time.